Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to Might and Magic Clash of Heroes. So, like I said, I was gonna play offline and get to the point where I was pretty certain I was gonna win. You can see I have a chained phoenix that's about to attack. I also have this that's about to attack, and that will probably take out the 53 health of Lord Bloodcrown here. I also have the mana shield with full mana. I also have 76 health. So I think we've got it. Now, this didn't take actually long. It was one more attempt. And so I could have easily spent the 30 minutes or so that I've been playing recording, but you already saw me try twice. Why bother to show a third time? I could also probably have just used Lightning Strike to win right now. So if in this turn I do not win, Lightning Strike will get me the victory. And this may be the final battle, it may not. Special explosion animation. Victory. I get 2000 XP, which gets me up to level 10. Getting 2000 XP is kind of pointless. I mean, maybe it will get the Phoenixes up to, it barely gets them up one level, almost two. It doesn't get the Titans up to level 5. So if I was going to get all of those to max level, I would have to grind in random attacks over and over again. And right now it looks like Fiona and the Elf Girl and Win aren't going to play any part at all in the final battle, which means I guess then their whole stories were kind of pointless, just added on. Let's see. Let's see what happens. You did it, Nadia. Yes, I have defeated Lord Bloodcrown's evil, but I have also harmed my own father. Look in the sky, the eclipse is coming. What do we do? Good question. I have the blade of binding, but I don't know how to use it. It is fused with my arm. I know what needs to be done.
Nadia's trials have caused the Kamla Asaya to bloom within her, and her spirit exults in its power. With a wave of her hand, Nadia shatters the link between Aiden and the Blade of Binding. She then does what legend and lore said was impossible. She empties the blade of its potent energies, using its power to thwart the eclipse entirely. Defeated, Azrafir is punished for his failure to bring about an era of chaos. The demon children of Urgash claw at him, dragging him down into Sheog for all eternity.
Father, so Nadia is obviously conflicted about that. I doubt they will forgive him for his failures. Nadia, there are not words enough to tell you how thankful we are. You have saved Ashan from suffocating darkness. I am no more deserving of thanks than your family, Godric. Honestly, she's less more deserving of thanks. There's 3 of them that did more than what she did. We've all suffered, and each of us has risen from tragedy to do what had to be done. Uh, if the story was to continue, though, 2 of these characters would not have the ability to do what they did. Like, I don't think Aiden can control demons anymore, uh, and I don't think uh, the other girl, the sister, would be able to do necromancy. So they've totally lost their ability to fight. So I don't know how you do a sequel. If you were going to, you could figure something out, obviously. Epilogue, many weeks later. We skip forward in time again. All of Irulan is in your debt. Anwin and Findon, oh yeah, I had totally forgotten about him. He played such a small role. You saw through the deception that clouded the minds of so many others. You honor Selenia and indeed all elves, Anwin. I'll never doubt you again. And I promise never to drag you into another adventure, hopefully. May I say it, Father? It would be an honor. Alexei played no part in this story, no reason for him to exist. Yes, Alexei, one day this will be your task. On behalf of the Holy Griffin, the Empire, my father, the Emperor, and all the good subjects of the Empire, we thank you, Godric, Fiona, Aiden, and Aiden of the Unicorn Ducky. No good citizen shall ever forget your heroic deeds in the face of tragedy and injustice. Thank you, Alexei. Those were very kind words and well spoken. Yes, you will make a fine emperor yourself someday. I have also heard that you are no slouch in your sparring lessons. Now that's something. Aiden, the fierce tamer of demons, said I was a good fighter. Let us hope that this particular enemy is one you will not have to face, my son. No, my demon taming days are over. If I never see another horned beast again, it will be too soon. See, that's where Jezebel should just run in here and go, I missed you. And what, is she just now in charge of all the Silver Cities? Well, I don't... Was her father even the king? I don't even know. He must be of some royalty to be at the top of a tower. So I guess she's in charge now. I do so love the Silver City, Cyrus, but I've lost so much. I see ghosts wherever I look. The world is sadness to me. That will fade in time, Nadia, and for what it may be worth, you will always have my shoulder to lean on. So 1 year later, epilogue, skip forward some more. That's bad writing. I guess they assumed it would take a year to create this fountain. Oh, Father, the forests still feel empty with your laughter ringing through the trees. I feel so alone. But you are not alone. Fiona, Godric, Aiden, and Nadia, you all came. Of course, it'd be sad indeed to suffer the memories of that terrible night in solitude. We are bound together. Our adventure has forged a bond that could not be shaken or forgotten. It's weird, a year later, they're all wearing the exact same clothes. Even if you wanted to, with that in our past, I almost feared to see what the future may hold. It's not hard to guess. Duty and responsibility will weigh on all of us. We will visit less, memories will fade. True, but we will never forget the friendship we forged and the battles we fought when fate first brought us here. So again, they're saying they're friends, but there is zero friendship between these characters, really. The entire adventure, this entire game, every single person has been off doing their own thing. You can't be away from a person interacting not at all and say you forged a friendship. The word they should use is, let's not forget the sorrows we suffered, the battles we fought, and when fate brought us here. That is the only thing that ties them together, is tragedy, and the fact that three of them are related. But there's no friendship. I wish there was a friendship. Anwin's skills and fame grew into those of legendary ranger who traveled far and wide across the lands of Ashkan. So I could imagine you making a sequel game with the 5 different characters and and getting to this point. I could also imagine if they got really greedy and it was a super huge success, which obviously it wasn't, uh, them trying to make 5 sequels all in a row. One where you just played as Anwin, one where you just played as Aiden, one where you just played as Nadia and Godric and the other one. I can't even keep 5 names memorized in my head. There's so many. I could also see them pushing this story into a different gameplay style too. There's nothing super wrong with these characters. They're just kids. So they could have started here and gone into a different style of Might and Magic games. Now, Might and Magic games in general are always strategy based. I don't think there's ever been a action Might and Magic game, not that I can think of. That might explain why they don't sell that well these days, or they don't make that many, because action is not done. Action is the key now, and strategy games that are slow and pacing isn't that popular. Let's move forward. Okay, so it's just going to tell us exactly what happened to everybody. Godric has become Lord High Constable of the Griffin Empire and the right hand of King Alexei and his son King Nikolai. So why in the world did we need King Nikolai to be introduced at the last second? Fiona married Prince Alexei. I thought they might do something like that. So Fiona's greatest accomplishment after being dead and coming back to life is to marry the prince and become Queen of Fiona and mother to King Nikolai. I guess that now explains that, but also the titles are totally wrong. It should read Fiona married now King Alexei, becoming Queen Fiona and the mother of the young Prince Nikolai, or the future King Nikolai, because the prince doesn't always stay the prince. He does become the king eventually, or maybe what it is that Prince Alexei's father didn't die until after Prince Alexei died. That's the only way it could really work, is if the Emperor, which Emperor and King, that doesn't make a lot of sense either. The Emperor stayed alive to see his grandkid, King Nikolai, born. Then Prince Alexei died before the Emperor died. Thus, he was never crowned king. And then the Emperor died. And then the kid. I mean, that's a lot of backstory you have to infer from one sentence. That's way too much backstory. Aiden, steadfast in his hatred of demons, joined the fabled Order of the Dragon Knights and continued his personal war against the hordes of Yorgash. So he goes and fights demons some more. So did he actually hate demons, or was it just the Blade of Binding the whole time? I guess he does hate the demons because they killed his father, and so he let that hate, you could easily say, consume him for the rest of his life. I mean, steadfast in his hatred of demons. Yeah, that's a consuming hate. That sets Aiden up well to be the actual bad guy in some fictional sequel, just getting all consumed by rage. And he was the sort of bad guy for a short second in this game. Nadia and Cyrus eventually married and gave birth to a young mage named Zahir, who came to rule the Silver Cities. So, again, they're just shipping these people. They're putting them in relationships that we never had any real writing or conversations that could have naturally flowed to Nadia and Cyrus getting marrying. They barely talked about anything other than escaping and defeating their father because that was such a quick rush. By far, the Silver Cities is the worst of the scenarios. There's nothing fun there. Cyrus is unlocked in multiplayer. Do I want to save? I'm gonna go ahead and save in this final Aiden slot. And that should be the place I need to load. So, I will say overall, I do like this game. I've played it twice now. I like the strategy. It is something that I haven't seen anything else that's super similar to it. The match 3 element that then gives each character having a unique ability that either manipulates the timing or freezes enemies or does more damage based on what row the enemy is in or something like that. There's always something with each character that you could really get into and have a well thought out game there. And I wish there was some kind of cell phone equivalent game to this, because things like Puzzles and Dragons do have a lot of elements to them, but the core of it is you just have different colored things and you match those things and that's it. Uh, I recently covered the game 10 million. There was a slight bit of that, but not much, where you would match swords or wands to do damage, or stone or wood to collect resources and such, but nowhere as complicated as this game. This game desperately needs like a cell phone version where you could play a little bit every day. I would also say this game does not play very well in a quick dash function. I think if you played a couple of battles and then took a day off and then played a couple battles and took a day off, it stretched it out over a longer period of time, you won't have the burn that you feel. But I bet you would still be kind of ready for it to end by the time you got to the Silver Cities. The idea of having 3 characters, it was too many. If it was the Elf Girl, Godric, and Nadia, that would be the right number of characters. And what you could have done is simply played as Nadia or Godric throughout the whole game, and then been helped along by the other characters. So you would start in Neuralin and learn how to fight with the elf creatures and learn all of that as the player is learning all of that. Then Godric would have made it to the Holy Griffin Empire and done all of that, and then he would have made it to Harish. It would have taken more story writing, but then you would have had more story to explain how somebody could run across all the lands investigating the theft of the Blade of Binding, and you could have just had the Azexus steal the Blade of Binding, and you get it at the very beginning when you enter the Demon Realm, and then that way you can control demons, and it still makes a decent amount of sense. Uh, I would have much rather preferred to really get to know one character than to barely know 5 and then get shoved down my throat that this they're all friends, and when we haven't seen any of that. And, uh, yeah, if there is a might and magic lore for this, it doesn't really help anything, because again, if there is this huge Might and Magic lore, which there might be, if you play Might and Magic, Heroes of Might and Magic, and Might and Magic Clash of Heroes, and all the other Might and Magic games all together, maybe there is this like 1,000 years worth of lore there, but that's an impenetrable wall to any new player. And even someone who just played this game, it's still an impenetrable wall. I won't remember a single bit of lore from this game if I was to go play another Might and Magic game. I would need everything explained to me again, and there's really doesn't need to be any lore. It's just fantasy, general fantasy realm. And you just need to understand, like, skeletons exist, zombies exist, elves exist, necromancy exists, demons exist. That's all you gotta figure out. You can see here on the credits that while there isn't a lot of people working on the translations, there is a lot of translations. So they tried to sell this game all around the world, and that's a good idea, but it's a simpler game in itself because they're taking up the entire screen to list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. The credits would have been done way earlier at this point if they had just scrolled it and been faster about it. Uh, they credited a new IP as an intellectual property and the developer, and that's probably what this was supposed to be. It was a new IP, and I think it would be. I think if this had come out on cell phones, which it couldn't have because it came out like before cell phones were really popular. Well, cell phones were popular, but before smartphones that could play apps were really popular and had screens that could show any kind of quality. If they came out with if a cell phone port of this, it would work pretty decently, but they'd have to make some adjustments. Definitely, it's not designed to play on what a cell phone screen would be in portrait mode. It's more this weird double landscape mode that is from the Nintendo DS, and I guess that is the one nice thing about when Nintendo does make something crazy like the DS that has two screens. One is a touchscreen on bottom, one isn't a touchscreen on top. It pushes people to think of a few new ideas, but usually they're just gimmicks. Uh, this game certainly plays fine on a PC. It plays fine with a controller. That's nice. I think for kids games in particular, you want to be able to hand them a controller plugged into a computer, even if they're PC gamers. You don't want to start them off with a keyboard because that's too many buttons and too many things to have to potentially hit. Hmm. Gosh, how long is this credits gonna go? Why would a kid sit through all this? Why wouldn't you speed this up? It's just so they can play the music. It has to be. It's a Ubisoft game. Ubisoft makes a lot of games. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. I guess you could probably say that for every video game publisher. There's a bunch of Ubisoft's companies too. They buy out companies, so the only thing that you can almost universally hate about Ubisoft is that if they try to push you to play the Uplay interface, because that's a nightmare. But fortunately, they've stopped really pushing that. I'll have to play Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood with Uplay because it's such an old game and they never took the Uplay stuff out. Uh, so I'll have to deal with that. Come on, credits. What else can we say? Oh, I'm gonna have to hit the button. They're crediting everybody, like the president of marketing, the VP. Really? If you're gonna, it's fine to credit everybody in the credits. You just don't need to take up an entire screen for it. I'm hitting the controllers now. Haven't hit a button quite yet, but I mean, I'm trying to see if something would speed this up. We do have more to do. I've hit all the buttons now. Let's see. Start. Oh no, I'm stuck. Every single button on the controller doesn't do anything. The only thing I could think of hitting now would be the escape button. So there's a few side quests too that we. Are you done now? Please be done, finally. Alright. So that kind of sucks. And it really sucks to have credits in the middle of your recording. So if we go back to level 10, we can now select the levels. And so let's go ahead and do the side quests, I suppose. And get a bit of a refresher. But I'm certainly not going to play everything. There's only 3 of them. Well, no, 3 there and 2 there. That's 5 fights. So let's, from the final save game, we can run around. So maybe it was just I was confused and thought that you couldn't do anything. Now I haven't played as Anwin in, well, the game thinks hundreds of hours, but in reality, probably only, I would say, maybe 30 hours at most. So there's 3 fights in this game, 2 of which must be just side fights. Because there's only 1 bounty mission. And it's not in any of these sections. What level is she at? She's at level 9, and well, she wouldn't have gone up in any levels, would she? Because she didn't even fight in the Silver Cities. She had no purpose at all to be there. Like, I have 5 unicorns already anyways. There was the flying down the tree scene that was extra animation for no real reason. I'd hate to think that 1 fight was not created. Here's a puzzle. You haven't seen any invading forces yet. I seem to have missed all the action. I've been stationed here all day, and the only thing I've been fighting is my own bedroom boredom. To pass the time, I've come up with a devious battle puzzle. Care to try? Sure. I hope this is super simple. And I got it because I don't particularly enjoy the thought of having to so I have to do a decent amount of damage. So what I can't do is put this here and that there and then delete and all that. I need this. Let's take that. And I'm gonna just hope that these pixies are strong enough. Nope, pixies are not strong enough. I could eat this, get rid of that, put that there, eat this, put that there, win. There we go. Twice I've seen puzzles like this where deleting the wall had to be used in the solution. $300 XP, pretty pointless right now. You figured it out. I really thought that was a twisted as a vine. You're back. Okay, this time come up with a puzzle that I'm sure to brown your leaves. Brown your leaves. That sounds like a poo reference. Great. I was just going easy on you before. This next one is the real deal. Level 10. Puzzle. Let's see. If I take this one out and then this one out. Do I have enough moves to do this, this, and this? Yes, I do. Good. First try, didn't look at the answer. Didn't need to. It's almost gonna get me to level 10, but I'm still, if I wanted to get everything to level 5, also I'd have to get random battles. You solved my puzzle. I really thought I had you this time. Vine gloves causes wall units to regenerate twice as fast. We'll go ahead and equip that. And we'll talk to him. You solved my puzzle. Now, that might have been the 3 elements right there. Nope. That's 2 of them. Don't mind me, Ranger. I'm simply guarding the sacred tree just like everyone else. Engard, Leroy, your days of treachery are over. We'll see about that. Begin the battle. Now, with even a potentially incorrect item equipped, I think I can get the victory rather easily. I'm gonna go ahead and take this, and then start that. Oops. That's not what I intended to do. Chain. And let's see. All these are the 1-turn archers. They're super fast. This one, and I've messed up. Fortunately, the pixies aren't strong, so it didn't kill my Trent. That being said, I need to kind of hurry, just because I want to save time. It's been a long journey, and doing a little bit extra for no real reason doesn't fully thrill me. There we go. As I make matches, I'll get that arrow, and I'm not sure how much the arrow damage would really be. Refill. Now these bears may take me out. Nope, they didn't. Interesting. Okay. Refill. Put that right there. And we'll put that one right there. 3 more turns, this should give me the victory. Even if it didn't, the fact that the Trent will start sucking life out would give me the victory in a few more turns. Move that there, move that there. So this stag is going to do 14 damage, which is a rather small amount of damage. The elves are weak. That might very well explain why they want characters you could fight in the final battle, is that they're just far too weak and impossible to balance against. Let's see. If I do this, and then take this out, and do that chain, that should be enough. How much damage is he gonna do? Enough, 38 damage. Never even got to use my spell. So that knocks me up to 10. And it doesn't get anything else up. Bounty complete. So now, I believe we'll run up here just to be certain. And then no second set of flying down. So I wonder if maybe they tricked me by having me fly down the tree, and because I flew down I didn't see the battle puzzle or the other thing. I think they did. I think they tricked me. That's bad game design. We're gonna make it give you a shortcut for the sole intention of making it so you miss what you were what you would have seen, or you miss gameplay. See, I really have to wonder how many people, when watching my episodes, will just stop at the credits and not even see this section. Side quest complete. So now we save. We'll go ahead and just save over that. And will that be Nadia level 10 or what? Now we have to exit and select the campaign again. It is still Nadia number 10. 111 hours on this game because I left the game running. And so that leaves 2 more here, and there's, you see in Silver Cities there are none. So this is kind of achievement hunting, kind of just trying to be thorough. We have 1 bounty and the Reapers, which we never unlocked. So let's go ahead and fight Gobulus. Level 10 versus level 9. It's gonna be a tough one. This battle is in particular is gonna be weird. So let's start with that. Go with that. Move that there. Take that to chain. Take that to chain. So he has 70 life, and I guess I want to take out that 70 as fast as possible. That would make sense. That one. That one. That one. I think the Reaper kills anything it touches. That would be my suspicion. Refill. Take that. Take this one, put it there. My Bone Knight here survived. So he's level 6, but I need this one to start charging at level 3. So the ghost may take out the knight, but this dragon's gonna be difficult. Chain that. The problem is the dragon's gonna attack before my guy is. And those little bit of walls aren't gonna save me. I don't even know what item I have equipped. So refill. Spell. $35. Well, interesting. That might actually just... This might actually just get the full victory right here. Good. If this one can do 5 damage, which it might be able to, I've got it. Otherwise, 3 turns, this probably gets me the victory, as long as I don't die in the meantime. Let's see. Move this one to that, move that one to that, take that, and move that one there, I guess. These bone walls are rather strong, but I think the amount of damage these characters do is just too low. And that's probably why she didn't do any battling in the final battle either. Well, I should have victory here. It sure made it seem like I was much more likely to lose than what actually happened. Maybe I've become a very good player, or maybe I just got really lucky. It's hard to tell. That gets me up to level 10. So what's in here? Some Reapers. We can buy 3 race. Should we equip them? Delivers instant death to anything it hits, including the enemy hero. Wow. And right now we're using the Book of the Dead. And this is our guy, so let's fight him. You stand before Urloc's human. Be gone or I shall destroy your soul. I care not for your name, only the price on your flaming head. So Fiona is back to her regular appearance. Braha. Urloc shall consume you, body and spirit. So they animated her twice for very little reason. I'm gonna move this here and that there, and then I kind of want to get rid of all the green things. Ooh, if he gets either one of his guys in the right position, that would slow down my Reaper attack. There is something to be said about the instant death being a little unfair. It's just not something I generally want if I wasn't using it myself. So he moved one group. Interesting. So in 4 turns, I may very well win if I could clear the path. I think that's the problem. Though the Reaper needs a lot of help. And these guys are 2. So eat this one to chain, make this one the chain. That's triple chain. That's best I think I can do. All I need now is the Reaper to do enough damage to get through this section. And I think he might. Refill. Play that one, I guess. Play that one. And then refill. Can he make it? He did it. Instant death. It is quite gambly. That's by far the most gambly ability. And increasing his toughness and attack would certainly be useful. Bounty complete. I did it. Now I must find an agent for my reward. And that was 2. So I wonder if there's any more. Where is the agent? Here he is. Side quest complete. So we'll go ahead and save again. And exit the game. And then we'll jump into the campaign for just a second. And then we've got a few other things to check out. So 13, 12, 13, 11. That's all the quests. There's none in the Silver Cities, and that's all I was checking. So let's see, what is quick battle? You can have artifacts, you can have a clock, and you can start a game. And we're gonna play against Findon, and we can play as any of these other characters, which I think I Am the Boss DLC is the new bad guys. So Bioblast, Azexis, Ludmilla, Azrafir. You get these extra characters to play as, so we definitely will want to play as that. Jezebeth, I think, was probably in the main game, playing as Godric, was in the main game, Varkas, Aiden, Jezebeth, Anwin, Findwin, Fiona, and Margot, Nadia, and Cyrus. And each one of them have slightly different items. And with artifacts, I guess, if we were going to play as Jezebeth and then hit ready, then we can play here with whatever we want. We'll just quickly equip that. And then hit Y for ready. And then we get to pick the items. And are there any new items here? No, it's just the 10 that was in the main game. Match starts in 3, 2, 1. Why am I getting a countdown? Is it because there's a time here? Is there a timer? There is some kind of clock, they said, but I don't know if that means you only have a certain amount of time to play, or what. Something on the right is filling in, slowly, and we kind of need to see what it does. So there. Obviously I'm at level 10, and he must have an artifact for a 25% extra health, because the clock reset there. See, I could almost see a game like this becoming a huge success when it came out. It feels quite like Hearthstone if you were playing people online, and in fact, except for the collectible card element to it, it does feel like something competitive. However, in this time frame, right now, it would never catch anybody's attention, and it didn't catch anybody's attention when it came out either. So how much do I want to play of this? let's wait for the clock to run out and see what happens. I'll make that one play. And then that will exit out of this. There's a couple other things to do, and then we're gonna go for at least another hour to... I feel we should play as the bosses, at least, and the bad guys, because we don't even know what their spells are. So we should play games like this, quick games, and we need to mess with online things too, but we want to see what their spells are. Even if their spells are awesome, unfortunately it doesn't matter because the campaign is done, and if you just wanted to play the single player experience, you can't go back and play the story as the other characters. That would have been an excellent thing to happen. It just ends my turn, alright. If they had said start a new campaign now and play as the other characters, that would be amazing. That would be exactly what I was looking for. Alright, so multiplayer. 1 versus 1, hot seat, or online. Quick match, search, any. Now, probably right now my firewall is saying no. Oh my goodness, look at this. Well, let's just play as this guy. Level 208. People are still playing this game. Interesting. And so Yaki here at level 208 versus my level 1. You can tell that either the matchmaking was non-existent or is non-existent right now, or there's only one or two people in the entire world playing it, but I'm surprised I found any match. That is actually amazingly different. In fact, I think we could probably end the series here. Playing as the boss, well, I mean, it would be 1 more hour. Let's go 1 more hour. I could just look at the descriptions right here and see the spells, where it says summons the hands of the Lord Blood Crown to fight 2 mighty palm blasts, fire 2 mighty palm blasts at him. How it would have found the match and then just sat here and loaded, I don't know. That seems weird. I would assume my firewall would just block it from finding a match completely. It is also slightly interesting why you would be playing as Anwin at level 208. So, yeah. Let's just exit. We could do 1 versus 1 hot seat. What was the 2-on-2 though? I swear there's an achievement for doing 2-on-2. I swear there is. Like, custom match, Yaki's lobby, and so there's 3 people right now. One's a level 1, one's a 168, one's a one's 208. Let's see, online, host, game type 2-on-2. So yeah, you'd have to host the game yourself to get the achievement. There's 3 people online though. Look, 2 people now. 2 people in the entire world playing this game online. So I think that's gonna push me away from bothering to try to get all the achievements. And I figured that was gonna be the case. Is that it's just not gonna be worth it. So the multiplayer element of this isn't going to work for anybody. And why you can only do 1 versus 1 hot seat versus a 2 versus 2 hot seat is kind of a shame. Let's look at the leaderboards. The highest player, if you start cutting out the first three, just assume those are cheaters, and then look at it. There's some level 400s, level 500s. That seems about right. Level 999 doesn't make sense. So I could say, yeah, it makes sense that you could get to level 3 or 400 if you had played this game when it first came out online like crazy. But like I'm at level 0, effectively. So what we're gonna do next recording is we'll do the quick battle and check out those boss abilities. It's probably gonna prove that the I Am the Boss DLC is not worth it. I think the only thing you can really say that's still worth it in this game since it's so old is the campaign, which gives you some more things. It's really a shame you can't just make a new game though. Like, if I was going to start a new game and hit X and then skip, it's not going to give me any like ability to play as the new characters, and that's the shame. I wish you could play as the other characters in a second run of the campaign, because then you have all those battles and you start at level 0 and start back up to level 10, which kind of helps. And now I have to wait until I can escape this section, and let's see how fast until I can exit. Yeah. They totally should have had a new game plus on this. Or they could have also had select your character out of the 5 characters, play through a campaign that was a little bit more streamlined than what this was, so maybe half the time, but then you had 5 other characters you could play as, and well, 4 other characters you could play as, or even more. At the end of the day, there's I think 15 characters here. You could go through the campaign if it was streamlined 15 times and have a better experience that way. Overall, pretty good game. I like the new concept. I'd love to see if there was another game like this where you matched 3 and each unit did something different and it took down an HP. It just adds this whole second layer of strategy that I find interesting. I'd like to see the story a little bit better. I'd like a higher quality on the animation because there was some cheap animation. I'd like them to either go more anime with it as far as the cut clothes, or sometimes slightly lack of clothes, or go more traditional American fantasy with it where it's not that anime. And I don't know what that would be. That usually that's just full sets of armor and to be cheap on the animation. I like that the voice acting was here. I'm sorry the voice acting was super loud. There was no option to turn it down. Let's see, is there anything else? No, I guess that's about it. So that's it for the main part of the game. Next time we'll look at the DLC and just play some quick battles. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps me out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.